What's going on, everybody? Hope you're doing well today. I hope your weekend has been good, and I hope you're having a great week behind you. So today we're going to be shooting some arrows that I've been really wanting to get my hands on for a while. It's some bamboo arrow shafts, and I've waited about a month for these. Everything takes a month to get here anymore. Can you believe that? But overall, I've put a few of these together so far, and my first impressions are I really like them. There are some things about them that I don't like, but we'll talk about that. And again, like I always say, it's not a deal breaker, it just is what it is. So let's zoom down to the table here. Let's look at these arrows, and then let me show you how I put them together. And then we're going to do the fun part. We're going to go out and shoot these things. So these are really good bamboo shafts. I was pleasantly surprised when I got these. Now, these did take a month to get here, so just be mindful of that. If you do want to order a set of these, you will have to wait for them. It's just the way everything is as of late. But one of the things I wanted to point out was here, the self nocks or the pre-cut nocks. Those are really nicely done. They're really smooth. If I can get that in focus there. Really nicely done, really smooth, no burring, nothing that's rough on that edge right there. Really nice nocks that are cut into these. The other thing too with these that I don't really like, I don't really care for, is this right here. They had pre-cut that down, and maybe that's the way they all are whenever you're purchasing bamboo shafts. I don't know. To me, I kind of was a little bit, I don't want to say upset that that was like that. It's just it makes it hard to get the arrow tip on, and I'm going to show you that here in just a second. Overall, though, the bamboo shafts are really nice. The advertisement said they came in at 33 inches. These are actually 32.5-inch shafts. Now, once you get the fill tip on or glued in place, then they become a 33-inch shaft. And maybe that was just something that was left out of the description. Overall, very smooth. You don't feel the knots in the seams where the bamboo is. Very nicely sanded and very nicely sealed. Overall, I think it's a great product. Now, the cost for these is about $18 for 6. You can get 12 for $32. I opted to go with 6 just to try them out because I didn't know what I was getting into. I've never shot a wooden arrow before, and this is my first foray into that, if you will. So I decided to go with the bamboo because I've heard bamboo is really tough and, you know, really just a great arrow overall. So again, very nicely made. Nothing that I could say stands out as far as anything that would be a deal breaker for these. Now, of course, with bamboo, you're going to have to adjust them just a little bit. I didn't do that yet because I can see some waves in it. So I'll have to go in and kind of straighten those out with a little heat. But again, for right now, just getting them together and getting out and shoot, I can say that I am honestly happy with them. Now, for this build, I decided to go with a 5-inch turkey feather barred, and I went with a 3-fletch this time. I've had a few people ask me why I use 2-fletch. I just like the 2-fletch. I think it's aesthetically pleasing, and I think that it actually shoots well. But with the 3-fletch here, you can see that turned out really nice, beautifully, complements the arrow well. And I went about, I don't know, probably about 2 inches down from the nock to actually put these on. And the reason I did is because I'm going to shoot these with my my horse bow, and with my thumb draw, I have to get my ring in there, and I want to make sure that I clear the actual fletchings here. Now, I've seen some really nice ones put together on, you know, watching videos and stuff. That's not here. This is just me testing out the bamboo shafts for what they are, and just to see if I like them and I want to continue shooting them. Now, the glue-on fill tips, as you can see right here, pretty well done. There is a little bit of wonkiness to that before you get the glue to settle in, and I'll show you that here in just a second. But overall, very nice build. The tips themselves are 100 grain fill tip. I couldn't find them in 125, but the 100 grain seems to work well with these arrows. Now, depending on the size you get or the diameter you get, that's going to dictate the spine by the description. I went with a 0.7, which is a 400 spine. They did have a 0.8, which is going to be, or maybe I got that backwards, but it goes from a 400 spine to an 800 spine. So you have the two offerings, and that's what they are. Again, for $18 for 6 arrows, that's not a bad deal. So let me get down closer to the table, and we're going to build this arrow, and then we're going to go out and shoot them. Okay, so as you can see here, this is already cut down just a little bit. I'm not sure why they did that. I'm sure it's just so you can put your fill tips on and you can start shooting. There are some little things with this that I'm kind of, it takes a little bit of a workaround. The fill tip wobbles around because the fill tips themselves have a little bit of a taper down in the barrel of it. So we're going to have to address that here. But even without that, there's still a lot of wiggle room on that shaft. And I'm sure that's because you're going to put glue in it. I know a lot of people I've seen use super glue. I've seen some people use hot glue. We're going to be using hot melt glue. That's what I always use. And out of the arrows I've built so far, I've not had an issue with them. But again, just a little bit of wobble there. So let me show you how I address that. What we're going to take is a pencil sharpener. Now there are commercial sharpeners for wooden arrows and bamboo arrows, but I don't have one. So we're going to be using the trusty, dusty, good old-fashioned pencil sharpener that's got the 2 additional sizes in it. Of course, we're going to use the larger one. And all I do is I take these and we're going to lightly turn it. Try to keep the arrow straight as you possibly can whenever you're sharpening that point. And then you're just going to take it out and look at it. You don't want to go too fast on this. You want to make sure that you're doing slow turns, making sure you're not just peeling this thing apart like an onion. Now, I may be doing this completely wrong. And if I am, for those of you that build bamboo arrows or build wooden arrows, please don't crucify me in the comments. This is my first go at it. So it's a learning process for me. And if you've built these before, please hook me up in the comments. Let me know what I am doing right or what I am doing wrong. That way I can do it better the next time. All right, so even with getting that taper on there a little bit, you can still see there's still a little bit of a gap there that we've got to cover. So I'm going to have to sharpen that down just a little bit more just to get it to fit a little bit closer. What I'm wanting to do is get it right here on this shoulder of the arrow, the end of the fill tip right to the shoulder of the arrow. That way it'll give me a good fit. Okay, so let me take down a little bit more. And you'll start to see that shoulder disappear down into the down into the pencil sharpener. That's what I've kind of determined is gets me really close on that. I think we're good about right there. That looks pretty good. Alrighty, so for this build, like I said, we're going to be using just a little bit of hot glue. Now what I've done is I've cleaned that end up just a little bit with my razor knife. I just took a little bit and sharpened it a little bit more. And what that's allowed me to do is fit that in there very nicely. And all I'm going to do is fill up these voids with the hot glue, and I think that's going to come out just quite nice. So, get my glue melted up here, and we're going to put a good bit on the end of this arrow. All right. Or fill that void around the arrow shaft there. Now that may be too much glue, and if it is, you know what? It's okay. More the merrier, right? So there we go. I got a lot of glue on that thing, man. Heat it up just a little bit. That way I don't have to fight it to get it to go down on the arrow or get the fill tip on. Now that we're heated up, put a little bit of pressure, just kind of spin it to kind of eyeball it, make sure that it's on there as straight as possible. I think we're good. Now we'll just let the glue dry, and then we'll peel off that little collar there, and then we'll be ready to go. All in all, I think the tip went on there pretty straight. I don't think I've got any issues with that. If it is a little off, you can heat that back up, and then you can kind of straighten it out a little bit more. But I think we're good there. Just peel off our little glue. Yeah, very nice. I like that. It's a little bit off, but I think we can fix that. That's okay. Now, I won't be shooting this one until I'm sure that that glue has dried up completely in there or cooled down. That way it'll be solid and I won't have to worry about fishing this thing out of my target once I take a shot. But there you go. That's how you put that shaft on. And now you can use super glue, but I don't know if I could fill enough super glue in there to make this thing fit like I needed to. And again, I don't know if they do that for a reason, if they trim those down. Maybe they're sending them to people like me who've never built arrows like this before and trying to make it as simple as possible. Who knows? I mean, that's possibly why they do that. I couldn't tell you. Well, let's get the fletching on this one. Actually, I think I'll fletch this one later. We're just going to go out and shoot the ones that I've already fletched up. Okay, so we're down here. We're going to shoot some. Now, one of the things that I didn't mention whenever I was talking about the arrows is in the arrow shaft themselves, they do have wooden inserts in there that are glued in to give them a little more strength in the nock and the tip area. But overall, the arrows are solid and, you know, they're just really nice. It was a really nice build. I'm really impressed with these. So let's stop talking. Let's start shooting. Let's see how they fly. Let's see how they group. Hopefully, these will do okay down here. So. All right, so the first shots are going to be with the AF Tatar bow. I got a little tip for you though before I even get started. If you're down in like a wooded area like I am right now, you might want to have a bright colored cock feather on these because the color scheme here is not conducive if they get lost in the woods. So just a little tip for you there, and that's from experience. So let me take a few shots with these. We'll see how they group, and then we're going to try the Samick Sage and see how they shoot from a traditional bow. So let's go. So even out of a traditional recurve bow, the arrows shoot well. Pretty decent grouping with one flyer, but that's okay, that happens. But again, you can't go wrong with this purchase if you're looking to get into some inexpensive bamboo arrow shafts to build and tinker around with. Is kind of what I'm doing right now. I do like the bamboo though, and I may try to make some from, you know, start to finish instead of buying them, just to see what that process is like. But all in all, I'm very happy with the purchase that I've made with these. Overall, great arrows. You can't beat them for the price. I mean, $18 for 6, $32 for 12. They do take a while to get here, so you'll have to keep that in mind if you're going to order you a set of these. Easy to build, and I think they're going to be easy to maintain. And again, if they get a little bit warped, you can use some heat and straighten them out from what I've seen. So again, the only thing I would be concerned about is these knocks, especially if you shoot tight groups. That could be a concern. And I think you can get some inserts for these. I don't know. Again, my first arrow build with bamboo, and I'm really enjoying it, so I'm probably going to do some more. So thank you for coming by and watching this video, and I hope that you've gotten something out of it, enjoyed it just a little bit at least. Now, the results are in from the poll that I posted here on my channel, and by an overwhelming margin, the bow that you said was your favorite out of all that I've reviewed was the Southwest Archery Ghost Takedown Longbow. So that means that will be the bow in the giveaway whenever we post the contest, and it'll be easy. It won't be something that you're going to have to jump through 10 hoops to be entered into it for a chance to win it. But I just got to make sure that I get everything right, because I don't want to do anything that's wrong here on the platform. So that is coming in the next couple of weeks, so be looking out for that. And again, I'll make it so simple to enter, and one winner will be chosen during the contest. So that being said, thank you so much for coming by today. Please check out my website, blueskiesarchery.com. There you'll find all my product links, and they are affiliate links, like I said before. And everything that you purchase from there, you know, kicks back a little bit to me, so I can dump back into this channel, you know, and buy new gear to review, and, you know, just keep it going like that. So again, thank you for coming by. Thank you for hanging out with me today. And it's always my hope that you have a great day, a better day tomorrow, and a wonderful week ahead of you. And until next time.